I had just 7 days to try and reunite the England squad from 25 years ago. This is the Boys of '96.
It's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming, football's coming home.
Coming up on the final show, time is running out and I've still got 7 players to try and sign up for the reunion.
Locked.
I spend more time on the golf course than Rory McIlroy. And I get ready for the biggest party of my life. So my final day started on another golf course. The locals made their escape before my arrival. And this time I declined the use of a buggy, so went searching on foot.
Well, he went out on the first, didn't he?
A few members told me they had seen Steve Stone on the first tee, so quietly I made my way over. And just at his most crucial moment when he was pretending to be Lee Westwood, I interrupted.
Stop.
So I gave Steve Stone the spiel, but Stoney only agreed to come to the reunion if I stepped up to the first tee. Joking aside, despite a series of serious injuries, Steve earned his place in the squad and recalls the quarter-final match with Spain fondly.
I went on at left side of midfield and I was in front of Stuart Pearce. And I remember Stuart just barking constantly at us. Get left, get back, get inside. He just constantly was at me. And we managed to hang on to get through on penalties in the end. And that was a real tough game. That was a real turning point in the belief after you come out of that game thinking, we could actually win this. And then I went up to Piercy in the centre circle because I know it's penalties. And I go up to him, I go to shake his hand, I went, brilliant Piercy, I thought you were excellent. And he just stands there with his hands on his hips, he puts his head down, he just goes, job's not done, Stoney, job's not done. Refused to shake my hand. The man was so focused, and the iconic picture of him scoring afterwards, and that is 6 years of hurt. Every time I see that picture, I just get tingles.
Stuart Pearce and Stoney had a great relationship, having been at Nottingham Forest together. On the night of the dentist chair, Pearce advised Steve to stay in. Steve's reply, "Don't worry, Skip, I won't wake you up when I come back."
That is exactly true. Yeah, that's exactly how it was. He pulled me, I think, on my own first, and I think he also mentioned it to Gareth Southgate as well on the same trip. Stuart had been on loads of these trips, and he mentioned to me, "Listen, Steve, these get messy, and I advise that you stay in. I'm a boy from Newcastle on my first England trip, halfway around the world. I'm out." And I walked through the door, and I looked around, and I realised this was going to be lively. And Gazza walked straight up to us and just ripped my shirt off us. He just ripped it off. And then I decided to look around and realised everybody's shirt had been ripped off. But when the pictures came out in the paper, everybody was thinking, please hope I'm not on it. Just please hope I'm not on the picture. And I wasn't.
Great memories from Stoney, but I had no time to waste. 300 miles of the M1 had my name on it, and Sky Studios in London was my destination, as I needed to pick up a special friend.
And there he is at Sky. Have you missed me?
No.
Have you missed me?
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
see? Come on. Grumpy than ever, but loving life. Do you know where we're headed now?
No, go on, where we go?
Loftus Road.
So we arrived at the Kyan Prince Foundation Stadium, where Director of Football Les Ferdinand was hard at work. The only problem was, they heard I was in town, so no one was answering the door.
Sir Les.
Eventually we found a way in, and for once, one of the boys found me.
Sir Les.
Okay, hey, how are you?
Great to see you.
Good to see you again.
I know you've been busy. I know you're trying to build a new championship side for Queen's Park Rangers, but I want to take you back in time 25 years to a little tournament called Euro 96. Does it bring back some memories?
Certainly does. Yeah, it's really strange because it was probably like a time like this, probably just in this country, the country was just coming out of a bit of a doldrum. And Euro 96 came around, it seemed to galvanise everybody, It was probably the first time I saw women coming from the office and going straight to games at Wembley. It weren't probably a great time footballing wise for me because 96 was the year I was PFA Player of the Year and I never got to play a minute at Wembley, so that was a bit of a frustration, but I remember what it done for everybody else, and that was probably the main thing.
Was there a moment in any one of those games where you thought, I'm going to warm up properly because this is my time?
I think I warmed up in properly in all of the games, to be honest, because I was trying to impress the manager, go and get me on now. And I think probably the closest I came to was probably last 20 minutes of the Germany game. And I remember back then the bench, the crowd was right next to the bench. And I remember some of the supporters at the side there screaming, get Ferdinand on, Venables, get Ferdinand on. And I remember him going like this. And once he did that, I thought, I've got no chance of getting on there. You know, because no manager wants to be told by the crowd who should come on, you know, and make that decision. Yeah, there was a little bit of frustration there, but it weren't to be. That's life sometimes.
So Solez never made an appearance at Euro 96, but promises he'll make an appearance at the reunion, and he sealed the deal with a signature.
Solez is probably, don't tell the other 21 people, one of my favourites. What an absolute top bloke.
We then headed back to Sky. Scott went home, but it was at that moment I got a call and sprung into action for what would probably be my last player. But something didn't quite feel right.
That's better.
With my Euro 96 top on for good luck, I headed to southwest London to find a player that was the England captain.
A man that has been almost impossible to track down, someone that has done everything he possibly could to avoid me over the course of the last week. I think we're about to get him. Here he is, at long last.
I might have to take the glasses off, actually.
You look cool with the glasses on.
Thanks, pal.
Tony Adams, so good to see you. Thank you so much for your time. I know you've just come off the golf course.
I am, I'm knackered.
You're knackered, you're tired, you haven't won as well, so you're not happy.
I am, yeah.
But you know what I'm doing, Tony? 25 years since Euro 96. I'm getting the boys back together. Will you please promise to come to my reunion?
Where's that?
It's at
Give us a
Sky.
pen.
It's at Sky.
When? I'm a busy man, you know. I have to
It's in
run
the
a
next
charity.
24 hours.
Can we
seal the deal?
What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Come on, England!
Come on, England.
Come on,
Gary Neville said to me that you gave the best team talks that he has ever seen, and he wishes he had a camera phone so we could film them.
Come on, England!
I don't think Tony will come to the reunion, but he signed my shirt anyway, and with zero emissions, I was back on the road.
I think it's safe to say Tony Adams didn't really like me, but I'm not fussed because 17 of Terry's boys did. I actually feel like crying. This has probably been one of the most emotional weeks of my life. Next stop, the reunion.
It's coming home, it's coming home, it's coming, football's coming home.
After some bad singing and some dreaming, I headed back to Sky excited for the reunion, but I decided to put on my tux as we needed something a little more upmarket for the boys of 96.
Look at this. Seaman, Pearce, Adams, Ince, Platt. We can sit and chat in this area, you know. Me and Incy talk about the old George Michael song. We can have a little reminisce, we can play it. You know, I think we've got a speaker. We got a speaker? Yeah. Yeah, we've got a speaker. And then in here, this is what they've come for, isn't it? You know, they've come for these cupcakes, cocktail sausages, balloons, tequila for Gareth Southgate. We know that Gary Neville and Stuart Pearce love cream tea and scone. Guess what? We've got the scones. These are the boys that have signed up to the reunion. Have promised me that today they will come here. And I'm ready to go for the reunion of all reunions.
There were, of course, some players I just couldn't track down, even though I tried.
No reunion would be complete without Phil Neville. Now, I know he's in the sun in Miami. What do you reckon the chances are of you FaceTiming Phil now to get a thumbs up for my reunion?
I'm not FaceTiming him now. He won't want to hear from me. I don't ring him. I don't ring him.
He want to hear from me.
I doubt it.
Tim Flowers disappeared, Steve McManaman was in America working, and Gaza, well, he was Gaza.
Scott, I don't think anyone's coming.
I'll give it time, mate. They might be here.
These sausages are going to go to waste.
Well, they won't, will they?
Not with you around, no. Even got these nice England cups. I want David Seaman to have a nice cupcake. This stuff ain't cheap. Party hats, they're going to go to waste.
I think I saw David Platt.
Where?
That's outside.
David Platt's outside.
Yeah, the Coronation Street bloke.
I don't care. I'll take anyone. Come on, let's go and see. Not one of them has turned up. They promised me as well. We've got it on camera. I actually thought they were going to come.
I'm here for the reunion, the boys of 66.
Sir Geoff Hurst. Well, it's the boys of 96.
Well, that's no good. They didn't win anything.
Do you fancy a cream scone?
Go on then, while I'm here.
Sir Geoff Hurst won the World Cup in 1966 and scored a hat-trick in the final against Germany. That's it.
So Jeff Hurst, it's an honour to have you here at the reunion. Forget 96. We don't care about that anymore. Let's talk about 66. What's the one memory that comes to mind when people say to you, tell me something about the World Cup?
The relief after the final whistle blows, when you've gone through the tournament and the goals count and the referee blows, your first emotion is one of great relief that you've got through it. You know, they're tough tournaments, as we all know. So that was the first emotion I think I would always talk about. The enjoyment, of course, winning a World Cup in your own country simply lasts forever.
Looking at Euro 96, there was a real spirit and a togetherness with Terry Venables' squad. And that's where the famous dentist chair story came out. If I go back to 66, what was the culture surrounding the team like?
Well, I'll tell you a story about drink, which you'll also find because the contrast is quite amusing. So one of the early games, I think it was quarter-final against Argentina, Sir Alf Ramsey allowed the wives, unbelievably, to visit the players in our hotel. So after the game, in the bar, Bobby Moore's got a half a lager. He's halfway through it. Alf Ramsey comes in and says, "Good night, gentlemen. Good night, ladies." Morrow said, "Well, can I just finish my drink?" And Alf Ramsey went, "Good night, gentlemen. Good night, ladies." And within like 30 seconds, the wives are out the hotel. They've gone. It wasn't quite like the dentist chair, but it's how the times have changed over the years.
Back in 1996, you actually went to the semi-final against Germany.
Yes, I was at that game, and bitterly disappointed, of course. I always talk about my abiding memory is the Gaza miss, if you like.
Is there one story, looking back at 66, that is just one of those things that perhaps people would hear and go, never knew that?
Many years ago, the St George's Park, where the England team, of course, train now, we were invited to open the new road into St George's Park, which they called the Sir Alf Ramsey Way. I decided to go the night before because I live away from St George's Park. George Cohen also had to come up from the South Tunbridge. So we decided to come up the night before with our wives, have a meal, ready for the next day. We start talking and he starts laughing, and Daphne starts laughing. I said, "So what's the music?" So he starts giggling. I said, "What are you laughing about?" He said, it was quite a long walk from the lift to the bedroom. We got in the bedroom, we couldn't find the bed. He thought, this is a modern hotel, it's the Hilton Hotel. There must be a button somewhere where you push and it comes out the wall. Of course, it wasn't. There was no bed in the room.
Did he have to sleep on the floor?
I don't think so. I think
you could have topped and tailed.
we could have done.
I have absolutely loved listening to your stories and speaking to you and reminiscing about 66 and 96. At this point, I'd normally say to whoever I was speaking to, one of the boys of 96, would you please come to my reunion? But this is the reunion. And I didn't get any of the boys of 96, but I got the boy of 66. Thank you so much.
Great to be here. Great to be part of a fantastic reunion, which hopefully will just simply last forever.
So my dream of getting the boys of 96 back together for a one-off reunion didn't quite go to plan. Some might say it actually worked out even better because I've relived the summer of 1996, the year it nearly came home.
Where's the old clapperboard? Don't use them anymore.
The famous dentist chair night.
I won the dentist chair.
He can bend spoons, but he can't get a decent internet connection.
I blame you for that.
David Platt, you've got a lot of cameras, haven't you? Jeez.
Mind the walker. Oh, Scott, you need your pass.
I'm in a Sky van.
We know where he is.
At the hairdressers.
Good hair. That's pre-ponytail.
Look at what Maddie's doing, holding the door open.
Everything changed for you.
Come along for a little lemonade.
Is there beer involved or tequilas or something?
Biggest sausage roll I've ever seen.
Employee of the month or what?
Have you got insurance?
No.
You're gonna need it. They see me rolling. Brian, why can't we have the pink one?
This wasn't really part of the plan.
You need to answer that phone.
That's not the phone, that is another delivery from my wife.
I'm knackered.
You're knackered, you're tired, you haven't won as well, so you're not happy.
I am, yeah.
Does he know where Robbie Fowler is?
Yes.
Look at that. I've made a friend.
Who knew you could open your mouth that wide?
Coming home.
It's coming.
I bought them trainers for my daughter.
Oh no.
This is the best. Love it, Marky. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be there.
He's in. He's in.
Oh, yes.
Look at him. He's excited.
Got him.